The door creaked open like a gunshot in the dead of night, shattering the fragile cocoon of my sleep. I bolted upright, sheets tangling around my waist, heart slamming against my ribs as Alex's silhouette filled the doorway, his face a mask of horror. Eyes locked on the stranger's arm draped possessively across my chest. "Jesse," he whispered, voice cracking like glass underfoot. "What the fuck have you done?" I couldn't breathe. The room spun in the dim glow of the bedside lamp, the air thick with the scent of sweat and regret. And in that frozen instant, I knew the lie I'd been living had just exploded into 1,000 jagged pieces. And Alex, my best friend, my unspoken everything, was bleeding from every one. New York City never sleeps. But that night, it felt like the whole damn world had conspired to keep me under. I'd crashed hard after the gallery opening in Chelsea. The kind of bone-deep exhaustion that comes from smiling through small talk with pretentious collectors while nursing a third whiskey neat. My loft in Williamsburg was a mess of half-finished canvases and takeout containers. The kind of creative chaos that screamed, "struggling artist," louder than any bio on my website. At 28, I was supposed to have it figured out, Jesse Harlan, rising queer painter, capturing the raw pulse of Brooklyn's underground scene. But truth was, I was just a guy dodging the mirror, painting out the ache I couldn't name. That ache had a face, Alex Rivera. We'd met freshman year at NYU. Two wide-eyed kids from nowhere towns, me from some dusty suburb in Ohio, him from a sleepy corner of Queens. He was the golden boy, sharp wit, sharper cheekbones, with that effortless Latino swagger that turned heads in any room. We bonded over late-night diner runs and shared dreams of making it big. Him in indie film, me in art. Somewhere along the line, the friendship blurred into something electric. Unspoken touches lingering too long, glances that burned hotter than the city lights. But Alex was straight, or so he swore, with girlfriends parading through like seasonal decor. I buried it deep, painted it out in strokes of midnight blue and crimson regret. Tonight, though, the whiskey had loosened the knots. After the gallery, I'd ended up at the Eagle, that leather-clad haven in the meatpacking district where the air hummed with bass and possibility. That's where I met Ryan. With a grin that promised forgetfulness. He bought me a drink, whispered filthy nothings in my ear, and before I knew it, we were tumbling into my loft, clothes shedding like old skin. It wasn't love, it was a blackout cure for the way Alex's laugh had echoed in my head all night. His arms slung casual over my shoulder at the after-party, oblivious to the fire it lit. Sex with Ryan was mechanical, urgent, a release that left me hollower than before. He passed out snoring beside me, his ink-sleeved arm heavy across my ribs like an anchor I didn't want. I lay there staring at the ceiling cracks, the city's distant sirens mocking my solitude. Sleep came eventually, fitful and laced with dreams of Alex's hands, his breath warm against my neck. Then the door. Alex had a key, had for years. For those 3 a.m. crises when one of us needed the other. He'd texted earlier, gallery was killer. Beers tomorrow? I'd replied with a thumbs-up emoji. Too buzzed to type. But here he was. At God knows what hour. Probably buzzing from his own night out. Key turning soft like he didn't want to wake me. His whisper sliced through, "Jesse. What the fuck have you done?" I scrambled to sit up, shoving Ryan's arm off, the sheet pooling at my hips. Ryan stirred but didn't wake, oblivious in his booze-soaked stupor. Alex stood frozen in the doorway, his dark curls disheveled, leather jacket half-zipped over a faded Ramones tee. His brown eyes, usually sparkling with that irreverent fire, were wide, shattered. The betrayal in them hit like a sucker punch. Not jealousy. Not exactly. Something deeper. But like I'd carved out a piece of us and handed it to a stranger. Alex, I choked out, voice rough from sleep and shame. It's not shit. I didn't know you'd. He didn't wait. Turned on his heel and bolted, the door slamming behind him with a finality that echoed off the brick walls. I threw off the sheet, yanked on boxers, bare feet slapping cold hardwood as I chased him down the hall. Alex. God damn it. He was already at the stairwell, taking steps 2 at a time, but I caught his elbow on the landing. He jerked free, spinning to face me, chest heaving. Up close, in the harsh fluorescent buzz, he looked wrecked, lips pressed thin, jaw ticking. Who the hell is that? Jess? Some random fuck you picked up to what? Prove a point. It's nothing, I lied. The words tasting like ash. Just a guy. One night. You know how it is. Do I? His laugh was bitter. Slicing. Yeah. I know how it is. You disappear into your artistic bullshit every time I bring a date around. Pretend you're fine. Painting your little heartbreak anthems. But this. He jabbed a finger toward my apartment door. This is low. Even for you. The stairwell smelled of stale piss and regret. The kind of underbelly scent that New York rubs into your skin. I reached for him again. Desperate. But he stepped back. Eyes flicking over me, half naked. Vulnerable. For a split second, something flickered there, hunger. Maybe. Or the ghost of what we'd never said. Then it hardened. Forget beers tomorrow. Forget everything. He shoved past me, down into the night, leaving me slumped against the graffiti-scarred wall. The city's pulse throbbing in my ears like an accusation. Back inside, Ryan was stirring, mumbling something about coffee. I ignored him, collapsing onto the bed, head in hands. What the hell had just happened? Alex had seen me at my messiest, exposed in ways I'd only ever been with him, in dreams. Anyway, the friendship we'd built brick by brick felt cracked now, spiderwebbing toward collapse. Morning came gray and unforgiving, rain sluicing down the loft's floor-to-ceiling windows like tears I couldn't shed. Ryan left with awkward kisses and a scribbled number I tossed in the trash. I brewed coffee strong enough to strip paint, scrolling through my phone for a lifeline. No texts from Alex. Just the usual spam, gallery invites. A reminder for my student loans. A Grindr notification I swiped away. By noon, the silence was deafening. I texted first, hey. Last night was fucked. Can we talk? Nothing. Another hour, please. You're my best friend. Crickets. Desperation clawed in. I grabbed my jacket, keys jangling like chains, and headed out into the drizzle. Alex's place was a 15-minute walk across the bridge to Bushwick, a converted warehouse crammed with film equipment and half-eaten pizza. We'd crashed there countless times, binging Tarantino flicks till dawn, his head on my shoulder as credits rolled. The door was unlocked, classic Alex, trusting the universe even when it bit him. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of weed and takeout Thai. He was sprawled on the couch, laptop balanced on his knees, editing footage from some short film gig. He didn't look up as I dripped rain onto his rug. "Go home, Jesse," he muttered, fingers flying over keys. I stood there, soaked and stubborn. "Not until you hear me out." It was a mistake. I was drunk. Lonely. He slammed the laptop shut, finally meeting my eyes. Fury simmered there, but underneath, hurt so deep it twisted my gut. "You've got me, you idiot. Or had me. Until you decided to parade that shit in front of, fuck. I walked in on you like some bad rom-com twist. I didn't parade anything. You have a key. Since when do I need to warn you about my sex life?" His face crumpled. Just for a beat. Before the walls slammed up. "Your sex life." Right. Because mine's so fucking pristine. He stood, pacing the cluttered space, knocking over a stack of scripts. "You think I don't see it? The way you look at me? Like I'm the one who could fix you. But newsflash, Jess, I'm not blind. Or stupid." The room tilted. My pulse roared. "What are you saying?" He stopped. Inches away. Close enough to feel the heat rolling off him. Rain pattered against the windows like applause for the unspoken. "I'm saying I've been waiting for you to man up and say it. But instead, you fuck strangers to forget me? That's betrayal. Jesse. Not just to me, to us." The confession hung there. Electric. All those years. The tension. The almost. My hand trembled as I cupped his face, thumb brushing his stubbled jaw. "Alex." His lips crashed into mine, fierce and forgiving, tasting of salt and want. We stumbled back onto the couch, hands frantic, peeling away layers like we'd been starving for this. His body was solid, familiar yet new, muscles honed from hauling camera gear, skin warm under my palms. I gasped as he nipped my neck, whispering my name like a prayer. It was messy, urgent, the rain outside mirroring the storm inside us. When we finally broke apart, spent entangled, he traced lazy circles on my chest. "No more hiding," he murmured. This, it's real." I believed him. In that hazy afterglow, New York felt conquerable, our future a canvas waiting for bold strokes. But shadows linger in the best light. 2 weeks blurred into a fever dream of stolen moments, lazy Sundays in bed, his head on my pillow, midnight shoots where I'd pose for his lens, vulnerable and alive, diner dates where we'd hold hands under the table, whispering futures over greasy eggs. Alex's film was gaining traction, a gritty queer coming-of-age story he'd poured his soul into, echoes of our own tangled paths. My latest series sold out at the gallery, critics raving about the visceral emotion in my abstracts. For the first time, I wasn't painting to escape, I was creating from fullness. Then the call came. Late October, leaves turning the East River crimson. Alex's phone buzzed during one of our ritual movie nights. Pizza boxes strewn like casualties. He glanced at the screen, face paling. "It's Mia." Mia. His ex from last year, the actress who'd shattered him, ghosting after a whirlwind romance that left him questioning everything. She'd been the catalyst for our almost confession, The one who'd made him swear off labels. Off me. Answer it, I said, forcing casual. But my stomach nodded. He did. Stepping into the kitchen, voice low. I strained to hear, yeah. The film's wrapping. Festival in LA? Mia. That's huge. But yeah. For you? Anything. When he returned, his smile was brittle. She wants me on set for reshoots. Sundance submissions writing on it. How long? 2 weeks. Maybe 3. He pulled me close, kissing my temple. I'll call every night. Promise. I nodded, bearing the dread. But as he packed the next morning, stuffing scripts into his duffel, I caught him staring at an old photo on his dresser, him and Mia at some rooftop party, arms wrapped tight, her laugh frozen in time. The airport drop-off was a blur of traffic and tight hugs. Love you, he whispered, the words new and terrifying on his tongue. Love you too, I echoed, watching his gait recede until he vanished into the swarm. The loft echoed without him. Days stretched. My brush is idle. Texts came sporadic, jet lag killing me. Miss your face. Then, Mia's a pro, pushing me hard. Followed by radio silence. By week 2, paranoia crept in. Late night scrolls through his Instagram, nothing overt. But there she was in stories, back with the dream team, Sundance bound with a selfie, her head on his shoulder, his arm casual around her waist. I called. Voicemail. Texted, everything good? That's danced? Then nothing. The breaking point hit on a Friday, rain lashing my windows like judgment. A mutual friend, Lena from the gallery, pinged me, saw Alex's post. LA looks lit. You two okay? Post? I stalked his feed. There it was, a boomerang of him and Mia clinking glasses at some rooftop bar. Caption, to old flames and new beginnings. Couldn't do this without you. Old flames. The words gutted me. I dialed. And this time, he picked up, background noise of laughter, clinking ice. Jess? Shit. It's loud here. Babes, I spat. Voice shaking. Who's that for? Alex? Me or her? Silence. Then a sigh. It's nothing. Pure shit for the film. You know how it is. Do I? Because it looks a lot like betrayal. Mia and I, it's history. But yeah, maybe sparks. I don't know. Being here, it's stirring stuff up. My world fractured. So what? You walk in on me with a one-night stand, flip the script on us, then jet off and reignite with her? Fuck you. Alex. Jesse. Wait. I hung up, phone shattering against the wall. The loft spun, canvases mocking me with their half-formed promises. I trusted him with my heart, raw and unarmored, and he'd tossed it for a ghost. That night, I drowned in whiskey, waking to a pounding head and a resolve, end it. Clean break. But deep down, the ache whispered otherwise, the boy from Queens who'd seen me, truly seen me, in a city that chewed up dreams. Little did I know, the real storm was just brewing. The fallout hit like a nor'easter, winds howling through my bones, stripping away the fragile peace we'd built. I ghosted Alex right back. No calls, no texts. Just the cold shoulder of a blocked number and a deleted thread that felt like amputating a limb. The loft became a tomb. My bed a battlefield of rumpled sheets that still smelled of him, sandalwood cologne and the faint citrus of his shampoo. I painted furiously, slashes of black and violent red bleeding across canvas, titled Betrayal in Technicolor. Critics would call it my masterpiece later. To me, it was just rage therapy. Lena dragged me out to a queer open mic in the village. Her arm looped through mine like a lifeline. You can't hibernate, Jesse. City's too big for that shit. The spot was a dive, sticky floors, fairy lights strung like drunken stars, air thick with pot smoke and vulnerability. I nursed a gin and tonic, half listening to poets spilling their guts about lost loves and body dysmorphia. Then he took the stage, Theo. Lanky, with wire-rimmed glasses and a mop of blonde hair that fell into eyes the color of storm clouds. His poem was a gut punch, a raw elegy for a lover who'd chosen silence over truth. Lines twisting like barbed wire, you left me echoing in the spaces between your breaths. A ghost in your gallery of almost. The crowd snapped instead of clapped, but I felt it in my chest. A mirror to my own wreckage. He spotted me after, weaving through the throng with a shy grin. Hey. Your work's in my roommate's apartment, those abstracts? They fuck me up in the best way. Turned out he was a grad student at Columbia, studying lit, moonlighting as a barista to fund his chapbooks. We talked till closing. Words flowing easy. His laugh a bomb on my frayed edges. One coffee led to two. Then late night walks along the High Line where the Hudson glittered like fool's gold. Theo was uncomplicated, out and proud. No exes lurking like landmines. He kissed me under the 14th Street stars, soft and searching, hands gentle on my waist. You're carrying something heavy, he murmured against my lips. Let me help. I wanted to. Good. I tried. Nights tangled in his tiny walk-up in Morningside Heights. His fingers tracing the freckles on my shoulders, whispering affirmations that chipped at my armor. You're enough, Jesse. Just as you are. It was sweet. This new rhythm, no drama, just two souls sinking in the city's chaos. My paintings softened, edges blurring into indigos and golds, whispers of healing. But Alex haunted the margins. A month into LA limbo, he'd blown up my phone via email, aching missives that I deleted unread. I'm coming back. We need to fix this. Then, radio silence again. Mutual friends tiptoed, heard he's rapping early. Looks rough. I shoved it down, focused on Theo's steady gaze. The way he'd hum show tunes while cooking pasta in his cramped kitchen. Thanksgiving loomed. That American ritual of forced gratitude and turkey-induced comas. Theo invited me to his family's spread in Jersey, progressive folks. Rainbow flag on the porch. Dad who baked killer pecan pie. Come on, he coaxed over burnt toast one morning. Escape the city blues. I almost said yes. But fate, or masochism, intervened. A package arrived at the loft. No return address. Just my name scrawled in Alex's looping script. Inside, a battered script for his film, pages dog-eared. With a note clipped to the title page, read this. Then meet me. 8 p.m. Our spot. Our spot, that hole-in-the-wall taqueria in the Lower East Side, where we'd split chorizo tacos at 2 a.m. After bad additions, grease-slicked fingers brushing accidental on purpose. I burned the note but kept the script. Curiosity a traitor. Theo noticed my distraction that night, as we prepped for a gallery crawl. Earth to Jesse. You zoning on me? Just work stress. But as he laced our fingers for the walk to the subway, guilt nod. Theo deserved better than my half-presents. Echoes of another man in my size. The crawl was a blur of champagne flutes and schmoozing. Theo charming collectors while I nodded on autopilot. By midnight, buzzed and bold, I slipped away, mumbling about a headache. The taqueria glowed neon under sodium lamps. Salsa music pulsing faint from the jukebox. Alex was there, at our corner booth, nursing a Modelo, looking like hell, unshaven, eyes shadowed. That Ramon's tee rumpled like he'd slept in it cross-country. He stood when he saw me, chair scraping. You came. Don't flatter yourself. The script intrigued me. I slid in opposite, arms crossed like armor. He pushed a beer my way, foam sloshing. It's done. Sundance accepted it, queer as fuck. About two friends who blur lines. Inspired by us. I cracked the bottle, took a swig to steady. Cute. Rewrite your regrets into art. Mia approve. His jaw tightened. Mia's out. We tried sparks? Yeah. But it was nostalgia, not fire. I fucked up. Panicking in LA. Chasing what was easy. But you're the one who rewires me. Words I'd craved. Now laced with poison. Too late. I'm seeing someone. The admission hung. A grenade. His face fell, then hardened. Theo? The poet kid? Saw your Insta. He looks safe. Safe. I laughed. Coming from the guy who bolted for his ex? Yeah. Safe sounds revolutionary. We volleyed barbs over tacos that turned to ash in my mouth. The jukebox crooning Selena like a cruel soundtrack. Beneath the anger, though, the pull, that magnetic grief. His knee brushed mine under the table, and fire licked up my thigh. Read the script, he pressed, sliding it across. Last scene. It's us, if we let it be. I snatched it, storming out into the chill November air. Script clutched like a talisman. Back home, rain sheeting the windows. I devoured it. Page after page of fractured boys in a sprawling city, dancing around truth till it pinned them. The climax, a confession in a storm. One walking away, the other chasing through lightning cracks. Fade out on tentative hands entwined. City lights blurring hope. Tears blurred my vision by the end. I grabbed my phone, unblocked him, typed, "It's beautiful." But beauty doesn't fix breaks. His reply instant, "Then let's rebuild." Coffee? Tomorrow. I deleted the text, curled into bed alone. Theo called then, voice warm through the line. Missed you tonight. Gallery was meh without my muse. Guilt surged. Sorry. Rough head. Come over? I've got that Merlot you like. I went. His apartment was a sanctuary, bookshelves groaning with poetry tomes. A cat named Whitman purring on the radiator. We made love slow that night. His touches reverent, drawing me out of my head. Afterward, tangled in sheets, he propped on an elbow, tracing my collarbone. Whoever hurt you? Jess, they don't get to win. Your poetry in motion. I kissed him fierce. Grateful. But as sleep claimed me, Alex's script haunted my dreams. What if the walkaway was the mistake? The next week was a tightrope. Coffee with Alex turned into hours at a diner in Midtown. Neutral ground amid the breakfast rush. He was earnest. Eyes pleading, I get it. Trust shattered. But give me a shot to glue it back. I wanted to hate him. But the glue was already working. Small admissions? Like how LA had forced him to face his bisexuality. Mia just a crutch for the fear. You're the spark. Always were. Theo sensed the shift. His texts lingering unanswered. Our dates truncated by work. One night. Post-poetry slam. He cornered me outside the venue. Face etched with worry. You're slipping away. Is it him? The ex. I deflated. Yeah. Trying to sort it. He nodded. Pain flickering. But grace in his stance. Be honest with yourself. Jesse. And me. I deserve that. His words echoed as I cabbed home. City lights streaking like comet tails. Honesty. The one thing I dodged since that door creaked open. The breaking point came mid-December. Snow dusting the bridges like powdered sugar on a wound. Alex's film premiered at a microfest in Brooklyn, intimate. Packed with industry types sipping craft IPAs. He begged me to come, it's our story. Be there. Against better judgment? I did. Theo understood. With a hug that felt like goodbye. The theater was a black box hole. Seats creaking under hipster weight. Alex sat beside me. Hand brushing mine in the dark. Electric. Forbidden. The film unspooled, grainy shots of rain-slick streets. Two leads, stand-ins for us, navigating the blur of friendship and desire. Dialogue ripped from our lives. You walked in on my mess. And instead of running, you stayed. Climax hit like a freight train. A bedroom confrontation. Accusations flying. Then a kiss that shattered the screen. Raw and redemptive. Tears pricked as credits rolled. Applause thundering. Alex turned. Eyes shining. That's us. In the after-party haze, a warehouse loft throbbing with electronica, I pulled him into a shadowed corner. Lips crashing urgent. Don't fuck this up again, I growled. Hands fisting his shirt. Never, he vowed. Pulling me closer. But as we swayed to the beat, my phone buzzed. Theo, saw the screening promo. Proud of you for facing it. But if it's him, let me go clean. Heart splintering, I pocketed it. One betrayal at a time. Winter deepened. Our reconnection a tentative bloom. Alex crashed at the loft most nights. His film gear cluttering my space like welcome invaders. We cooked, badly, burnt stir-fries and laughter filling the air. He directed a commercial gig. Pulling me in as art consultant, I sold a piece to a MoMA curator. Toasting with cheap Prosecco on the fire escape. Theo faded gracefully. Our last coffee a gentle eulogy. You lit me up. But go chase your storm. Guilt lingered. But so did hope. Alex and I dove deep, therapy sessions in a cramped Chelsea office. Unpacking the fears that had kept us orbiting. I was scared, he admitted one night. Head in my lap. Of losing the friendship if it crashed. Me too, I whispered. Fingers in his curls. But this? Worth the wreckage. New Year's Eve found us on a rooftop in Dumbo. Fireworks exploding over the skyline like defiant stars. He dropped to one knee, not proposal. Just a promise, a key to his place. Engraved no more walking away. I pulled him up, kissing through tears. The city our witness. For a breath, everything felt unbreakable. But spring thaws secrets, and mine was stirring. April bloomed vicious in New York. Cherry blossoms mocking the frost still clinging to my heart. Alex and I were solid, or so I told myself in the mirror each morning. His toothbrush beside mine a talisman against doubt. His film hit Sundance buzz lists. Scouts circling like vultures with checkbooks. My solo show at a Soho space sold out opening night. Critics dubbing me the voice of millennial queer longing. We celebrated with rooftop rows. His arm around me as Manhattan twinkled below. Whispering, we made it. Together. But cracks spiderweb beneath the gloss. Late nights, I'd wake to him scrolling his phone. Face illuminated blue. Thumb pausing on Mia's feed. Just work stuff, he'd mutter. Pulling me close. I let it slide, chalking it to paranoia scars. Theo re-emerged unexpectedly, a chance run-in at a lit fest in Union Square. He was reading from his debut chapbook. Steady, eyes lighting when he saw me in the crowd. Post-reading, over falafel wraps. He grinned easy. Heard about the show. Killing it? As expected. We talked shop, his MFA acceptance to Iowa, my latest series on fractured intimacies. No awkwardness, just the warmth of what was, not what could have been. Say hi to Alex, he said, hugging goodbye. Tell him I rooted for the film. But did. Over dinner that night, soba noodles in the East Village. Lanterns casting golden halos. Alex's fork paused midair. Theo. Nice of him. But his smile didn't reach his eyes. A flicker of something possessive. Primal. Jealous. This. Foot hooking his under the table. He leaned in, kissing my knuckles. Of anyone who gets your light? Always. It melted me. That vulnerability. And we tumbled home early, making love with a fervor that chased shadows. The real fracture came in May. Heat wave turning the city into a steam bath. Alex landed a pilot gig, indie streaming series. Queer leads. Shooting in LA for 6 months. It's huge. Babe, he said, pacing the loft. Scripts fanned like a poker hand. But I'll fly back weekends. We video every night. 6 months. The number echoed like a sentence. And Mia? Beth? Voice steady despite the churn. He winced. She's attached, co-star. But it's professional. Swear. I nodded, swallowing the bile. Trust was a muscle? I reminded myself, atrophied from years of almost. But building. We saw him off at JFK. His duffel slung over one shoulder. My arms around his neck till the final call. Love you, he murmured. Forehead to mine. This is our era. Ellie swallowed him quick. Calls came religious at first, 9 p.m. Might have. His face pixelated on screen. Set tails spilling amid craft services gripes. Mia's intense, pushing for authenticity. But I miss your chaos. I thrived solo. Diving into a mural commission for a Harlem community center, vibrant murals of queer icons. Hands intertwined across brick. Theo emailed congrats. Enclosing a poem, in the space between departures, roots deepen. Bolstered me, that quiet kinship. But distance breeds ghosts. A festival after-party invite pinged, Sundance offshoot in Tribeca. Alex, wish you were here. Mia toasts you every round. Attached, a group shot. Her arm looped his. Grins wide. Champagne flutes clinking. My chest tightened. I texted, looking cozy. Careful with those toasts. His reply, all good. Love you. Doubt festered. Late night paints turned stormy. Grays bleeding into flesh tones. Lena noticed at our weekly brunch, avocado toast at a spot in Nolita. You're fading. Huh. Spill. Over mimosas. Poured. The distance. The photos. The echo of that door creaking open months ago. She squeezed my hand. Talk to him. Don't let silence build the bars. That night, I called. He answered breathless. Club music thumping faint. Just after parties winding. Cut the shit. Alex. Are you fucking her again? Silence. Then a sigh like wind through canyons. No. Good. But. Yeah. We're close. The chemistry on set, it's bleeding over. Harmless flirting. I swear. Harmless. Laughter bubbled. Hysterical. You walked in on my harmless and torched us. Now it's okay for you, Jesse. It's not shit. The pressure here's insane. Investors watching. Mia's got pull. It's acting. Act your way back to New York, I snapped. Hanging up. The loft rang with it. Empty as a drum. He called back frantic, voicemails stacking like accusations. I'm sorry. Flying in tomorrow. Please. I didn't delete them. Instead, I texted Theo, coffee? Need a friendly ear. We met at his old haunt near Columbia, espresso shots and existential dread. He listened. No judgment. Just nods and refills. Sounds like fear dressed as flirtation. But you deserve the full show. Jess, not the understudy. His hand covered mine. Platonic anchor. What do you want? You, I almost said. The old pull tugging. But truth won, him. If he's all in. Theo smiled sad sweet. Then fight for it. But have a plan B. Alex arrived that weekend. Disheveled from red eye. Dropping his bag in the hall like a gauntlet. We faced off in the kitchen. Coffee brewing bitter between us. I fucked up, he started. Hands raking curls. The flirting, it's stupid. Ego shit. Mia's pushing boundaries for the role. And I leaned in. But it's you. Always. I wanted to believe. Crossed arms loosening. Prove it. Boundaries. No more gray. He pulled me into him. Kiss desperate. Tasting of airplane peanuts and contrition. Done. Weekend visits locked. And when wrapped, we road tripped the coast, just us. We spent the next days reclaiming Central Park picnics. His head in my lap as I sketched a drag brunch in Hell's Kitchen, cheering queens who slayed our anthems. By Sunday, the fracture sealed, or so it seemed. He flew back glowing, promising, this is temporary. We're permanent. Summer sweltered on. My mural unveiling a triumph, Community thrumming around the walls. Hands tracing histories we'd painted bold. Alex's calls steadied. Flirtations purged. Replaced by set stories starring only him. Then, August scorched in with a heat advisory and a bombshell. A link from Lena, exclusive, indie darling Alex Rivera and co-star Mia Lopez, more than on-screen magic? Grainy pap shots, them at a beach bonfire. Her head on his shoulder. His hand in her hair. Caption, sources say the chemistry's sizzling offset. My vision tunneled. I called. Straight to voicemail. Text, saw the pics. Game over? Hours later, Paps twisted it. Beach read-through. Swear. Coming home early. But the seed rooted deep. That night, insomnia gripped. I scrolled Theo's Insta, him at Iowa orientation, smiling wide amid cornfields. A DM pinged back when I liked an old post, Miss New York. How's the storm? Brewing. I replied. You free for a virtual beer sometime? Always. Alex landed 2 days later. Face ashen. Bouquet of sunflowers wilting in his fist. It's bullshit, he insisted. Thrusting articles at me, damage control from his publicist. Mia and I talked. She's seeing someone else. The pics? Staged for buzz. I scanned them. Nausea rising. Staged? Your hand in her hair looks pretty real. He deflated onto the couch. Head in hands. I slipped. This drunk? After a rap party. Nothing more. I stopped it. Came clean because I love you. The room spun. Betrayal. Round 2, sharper. Because I'd rebuilt on his words. You promised boundaries. I know. Tears tracked his cheeks. Voice breaking. I'm poison. But please, don't end us. I paced. Heart a war drum. Forgiveness or flight. The city outside hummed indifferent. Taxis honking like jeers. Go, I whispered finally. Sort your shit. Alone. He nodded. Broken. Bag repacked by dawn. The door clicked soft this time. No slam. Just a sigh. Alone again. I curled fetal. Sobs racking till light bled in. Theo's call came that afternoon. Voice a lifeline. Heard. Want company? By evening. He was there, plane ticket burned. Chapbook in hand. We didn't sleep together, just talked till stars wheeled. His presence a quiet harbor. You're not broken. Just, he said. Hand on my knee. Just bent. And beautiful. Gratitude swelled. Morphing slow into something warmer. A week later, as summer waned, we kissed, tentative. Then sure, on my fire escape. City lights winking approval. Alex's text trickled. Miss you. Working on me. I archived them. Unread. Fall whispered redemption. Leaves carpeting the parks in gold. Theo and I bloomed easy, poetry readings in his arms. Weekend hikes upstate where he'd read aloud while I sketched. No rush. No wreckage, just two artists weaving threads. But closure called. Sundance loomed. Alex's film premiering. An invite arrived, your presence shaped this. Come? As friends. I went. Park City glittered under snow. Fest a whirlwind of panels and parties. Alex shone on stage. Kuhn's spilling heart, This story's about loving through fear, the mess of it, the worth. Our eyes met across the auditorium. A nod exchanged, painful, peaceful. Post-screening reception. He found me by the bar. Champagne in hand. You came. Closure, I said. Clinking glasses. Proud of you. Mia hovered nearby. But distant, her date a producer type. Alex leaned in. Voice low. Theo suits you. Happy? Yeah. True. You. He smiled wistful. Getting there. We hugged goodbye. Brotherly. No sparks. Just embers banked. Back in New York. Snow dusting the bridges. Theo waited with hot cocoa and a question, what's next for us? I pulled him close. Kissing snowflakes from his lashes. Everything. Winter wrapped New York in its icy embrace. But for the first time, the cold felt like clarity, a crisp canvas wiped clean. Theo and I settled into a rhythm that felt like breathing, mornings tangled in his morningside bed, sunlight slanting through blinds to paint gold stripes on his freckled back, afternoons at my easel, him cross-legged on the floor, scribbling verses inspired by my strokes, evenings wandering the village. Hand in hand, stealing kisses in doorways that smelled of fresh bagels and possibility. He was a quiet revolution, no grand gestures, just the steady poetry of presence. We'd host game nights with Lena and her parade of artists. Laughter echoing off exposed brick, or hole up during blizzards. Reading aloud from Whitman to Woolf. His voice weaving spells that mended my fractures. You're my muse and my mirror, he'd say. Fingers interlacing with mine. And in those words, I found forgiveness, not just for Alex, but for the boy who'd hidden his heart behind half-truths. Alex faded to a footnote. Sundance accolades poured in. His film snagged a special jury prize for audacious queer storytelling, headlines buzzing with his name. He texted congrats on my mural feature in The New Yorker, knew you'd shine. Beers sometime? No strings. I replied polite, maybe. Take care. Kelso nodded approval. Healing's horizontal, not vertical. You choose the path. Spring unfurled tentative. Dogwoods blushing pink along the paths where we'd walk Whitman the cat on makeshift leashes. My next series brewed, portraits of queer resilience. Faces I'd met in the city's underbelly, the drag queen from the brunch spot. Eyes lined fierce, the trans barista at our coffee haunt. Smile defiant amid steam. Theo posed for one. Vulnerable in morning light. Glasses fogged. Lips curved soft. Capture the ache and the afterglow, he instructed. Half joking. The opening was June. Humid air thick with jasmine and anticipation. Gallery packed, collectors in linen suits. Critics with notepads. Friends toasting with elderflower spritzes. Theo stood beside me in a thrifted blazer. Hand warm at my low back. Whispering, they're seeing you. All of you. Alex showed. Uninvited. But they're leaning against a beam. Solo in a crisp button-down. Eyes scanning till they locked on mine. He approached slow. Champagne flute extended. Stunning work. As always. Thanks. Neutral ground. Theo materialized. Arms slipping casual around my waist. Alex. Right? Love the film. Congrats again. Alex's gaze flickered. Appraisal. Not envy. Appreciate it. You too. Look good. The beat. Then, deserve it. We chatted surface, industry gossip. LA versus New York winters, before he drifted to a cluster of producers. Later, as the crowd thinned, he caught me alone by the abstracts. He's solid. Treat him right, you've got a gift for breaking beautiful things. The word stung. Learned from the best. But I'm mending now. He nodded. Throat working. Me too. New project, doc on bisexuality in Hollywood. Facing the mess head-on. Proud, I said. Meaning it. The hug followed. The scent of him a ghost no longer haunting. He left with a wave to Theo, vanishing into the night. Theo pulled me close after, amid the detritus of quirks and critique. You okay? Better than. And I was unburdened. The weight of what-ifs lifted. Summer hummed content. Our lives intertwining seamless. Theo's chapbook launch in August drew a line around the block. I am Seed. Voice cracking on the dedication. To Jesse, who taught me that love is the art of staying. We escaped after to Coney Island. Boardwalk lights blurring as we rode the cyclone. Screams mingling with salt air. His hand clutching mine through loops. Fall brought roots. He proposed, not ring, but residency, move in? Make this our chaos. Over pie at his folks in Jersey. I said yes. Tears in my coffee. The merge was magic. My canvases against his bookshelves. Our mornings a duet of espresso grinds and sketch lines. But humanity's weave includes fray. November grayed the skies. And word came, Alex's doc hit a snag, funding pulled after a backer's concerns, over the buy angle. Whispers of industry homophobia. Told me. Voice raw, did the opening. Needed a friendly voice. We met at our old taqueria. Neutral as ever. He looked on. I shadowed. But the fire flickered. It's bullshit. But I'll fight, crowdfund. Indie route. Can't let it die. You won't, I assured. Tacos steaming between us. Theo waited outside, giving space. You've got stories that matter. He smiled faint. Like ours. The door. The mess, it shaped me. Shaped us all. The pause. Then, Theo's good. Real good. Yeah. No bitterness. He is. We parted with a fist bump. Brothers in the scars. Back home. Theo enveloped me. How's the warrior? Fighting on. We made love slow that night. Bodies a testament to chosen grace. December dawned crisp. Holidays a tapestry of lights and laughter. Theo's family adopted me full, Thanksgiving turkey carved with inside jokes. Hanukkah lax fried golden. New Year's. We watched the ball drop from a friend's rooftop. His arms around me as confetti rained. Whispering. To us, unscripted. Unending. The year turned. And with it, my world. A Guggenheim Fellowship pinged in January, 6 months in Berlin. Painting Europe's ghosts. Theo applied for a lit exchange there. Fingers crossed over wine. Adventure together? Always. Alex's doc premiered small scale in February. A queer film fest in Provincetown. We went, Theo and I. Road tripping the coast. Salt wind whipping as we claimed front row seats. The screen glowed with truths, bisexuality's blurry edges. The fear of erasure. Cameos from us in spirit, archival clips of our diner rants. Blurred for anonymity. Alex choked up. This is for the ones who walked in on the mess and chose to stay. For love that defies labels. Applause thundered afterward. Hugs all around. Mia was there. Platonic. Toasting with sodas. We're good, she confided. As friends. Back in the city. Spring's thaw mirrored our bloom. My Berlin acceptance came with Theo's, synchronicity's wink. We packed amid chaos. Loft sublet to Lena. Canvases crated like dreams. The going-away bash was epic, rooftop under stars. Friends spilling stories. Alex raising a glass. To Jessie, the heart that hooked us all. Don't forget us, little people. Laughter rippled. Theo pulled me aside. Kissing deep. Ready? With you? Born ready. Dawn broke as we cabbed to JFK. City receding in the rearview, a love letter etched in steel and stone. The plane lifted. You're calling. But home wasn't a place anymore. It was us, the hook of a gaze. The ache-turned anthem. The walk-in that shattered to rebuild. Years later, gray threading our curls, we'd recount it over Berlin brunches, how a creaking door changed everything. Not to end, but to begin. Jesse Harlan Rivers. They called me then. Dual bylines on joint exhibits, paintings laced with his poems, stories in color. And in quiet moments, tracing the lines on his hand, I'd whisper, what happened next? Forever.